Yes, welcome along to Good Morning Royal Ascot for day one of the Royal Meeting. And we're live from Ascot. As you can see, we've got the grandstand in the background, and joining myself, David Jennings, to preview all the action on day one of the Royal Meeting. We have got a hardcore punting panel. They asked for you guys, and we have delivered. We've got my up-in-the-ante partner in crime, Mr. Johnny Deneen. We have got Paul Keeley, and we've got Matt Williams back by popular demand. He's opened the baton at the Dublin Racing Festival, he's opened the baton at the Cheltenham Festival, and now you're opening the batting and the betting at Royal Ascot. Welcome, gents. I should say before we start, Johnny Deneen has been our chauffeur for the week so far, so it's obviously the first day. We've only had 2 spins in the car. Never in my life have I experienced a driver like Johnny Deneen. Paul Keeley, just tell viewers what our trip to Royal Ascot this morning was like.
God, I'm trying to guide him in 2 things. First of all, I said, you're in the wrong lane, Johnny. He says, I don't care about lanes.
You try both.
And then after that, I just said to him, you want to be in this lane? And he went, this lane or this lane? But in fairness, he probably was in the middle when I said it anyway, like in both of them, but yeah.
You know, if you're backing horses at Ascot this week, you want them to gradually go through the gears, you know. You don't want to go from 0 to 100. Johnny comes to a roundabout and we're gone. But we got here safely, and hopefully we'll be here for the rest of the week. Hopefully, Johnny, we'll get here safely. Thanks for joining us, boys. Great week. Probably, Matt Williams, the best week of flat racing of the whole year.
I think it's arguably the best week of racing of the whole year.
Wow.
You can throw Cheltenham into the mix as well. I think it's that good. It's got everything. It's just theatre, and it always delivers. The racing's top class, and you get some great results and great stories.
And over the years for you, has it been successful punting?
Yeah, I suppose it has been successful. Yeah. I mean, the in-running's not brilliant, but you know, before the racing, yeah, I've had my share of successes.
And Johnny Deneen,
and disasters.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but you would be a guy that would look towards the front of the market generally. You know, you're not afraid of backing a favourite, are you?
No, I'm not. No.
And Ascot, for you, must be a nightmare, because I think the final 3 races on Wednesday, it's 6 to 1 the field, 8 to 1 the field, and 10 to 1 the field. Is this a punting nightmare for you?
Well, it's not a punting nightmare. You don't have to have a bet if you don't want to. Do you know what I mean? But there are loads of races where I won't be getting that heavily involved in. But look, it's a meeting. Like at the end of the week, the bookies will win here. They'll win here every year. I would say.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Thanks, Johnny.
I would fancy it, but there is room for picking outsiders at a meeting like this. Like I won't be at the front end of the market for a lot of these horses. That's for sure.
Really?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's a meeting where you can hit a 14 or a 16 or a 20 to 1 winner. You're kind of never out of it in Ascot. Whereas in Cheltenham now, you could back 3 winners a day and only break even. You know what I mean? But whereas here, if you hit a winner, like a double figure price winner, it should keep you going for a day or two. You know that kind
What's your famous name for it? A wangaroo, is it?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, there are strange results.
What's a wangaroo?
Yeah, it's a kind of something like a boomerang kind of a thing that comes back to you. A wangaroo. It's like
a hot dog or something.
Yeah. It's something unexpected anyway.
It's a big prize winner.
Yeah, kind of a wangaroo. Yeah, exactly. So look, that's the thing about here. You're kind of never out of it. Even if you go a day without hitting a winner, like one winner will put you right. You know, that kind of way. So I'd be aiming towards moving away from the market in a meeting like this. Like to me, like the bookies out here, like they'll go into Cheltenham with like trepidation. They won't be coming in here in fear and trepidation. Not in my opinion, anyway.
And from a man who detests the front of the market, or from a man who loves the front of the market to a man who detests the front of the market, Mr. Paul Keeley, this has got you written all over it.
Yeah, I love Royal Ascot. Yeah, I've had some pretty shocking years in my time as well, obviously. But you know what I love about competitive racing at the big festivals is being able to back high-class, in-form horses at decent prices. And that's what you can do here, because there are so many horses that come into the race in good form, and plenty of them are just being overlooked because there are sexier horses from bigger stables in the race, and I just think you get a chance to nick a bit of value.
Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got terrific content all week at Royal Ascot. The Racing Post YouTube channel is the only place to go this week, so don't forget to subscribe and like to that channel. So before we get stuck into the action on day one, we're actually going to give you a flavour of the rest of the week, and we're going to get best bet of the week, lay of the week, and long shot of the week from our 3 panellists. So Matt Williams, we'll start with you. You had the longest journey this morning. You had the safest drive down. Your bet of the week.
I'll go for Opera Singer in the Coronation Stakes. Been well bet. I like the Irish Guineas form. It's solid. That's my nap of the week.
That's your nap of the week.
There's a few contenders, but she's come out on top.
Okay, we'll go across the line for best bet of the week. Paul Keeley?
Yeah, I think King's Gambit, London Gold Cup winner. I think he'll win the Hampton Court Stakes. The Charltons have a rich history of winning that race with really good horses, and he bolted up that day. He wouldn't have been out of place in the Derby field. Jockey couldn't pull him up. I just think he'd win.
What day is that?
No idea.
Oh. King's Gambit. Thursday, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's Thursday. Best bet of the week, Johnny Deneen?
Yeah, I'll go for something like slightly bigger than normal. I'll go with Ethical Diamond, and I think that's Thursday.
Johnny, you all right? That's a big price.
That's only 5-1 now. It's favoured at the same time, so I'm not going away from favourites, but just a slightly longer price one. I'll go with that as it might be slightly less come today, but that has a good chance.
And the vibes always from Clive Sutton about Ethical Diamond, even in the Triumph kind of feels leading up to Cheltenham. It's always been quite strong about Ethical Diamond.
I'd say this is what he wants. The ground is key to Ethical Diamond. I'd say good ground is massive for him, and he looks pretty well treated now off his raid. And I just had a look at the race, and I'd say he'll take a fair bit of beating.
Okay, so there's your Trixie. We've got Ethical Diamond, we've got King's Gambit, and we've got Opera Singer. So Johnny, we'll start with you for lay of the week. The one horse that will not win this week is
Kyprios.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'll go with Kyprios, yeah. I just think there's enough in that race to take him on, and I just think that this year's form, okay, he's beaten the same horse twice. I wouldn't mind that, and he's obviously in reasonable form. But last year he had a bad year, and then he came at the end of the year and ran a few races like beaten by Tron. It's 2 years ago since he was a really dangerous horse, and a really formidable horse, I would have said. And it's 2 years is a long time in a racehorse's life, and there are horses in here that I'd say give him a good run for his money. I think he's a very, very sharp price.
You think he's wrong?
I think he's wrong. Yeah, I don't think there is anything to, I think if he turns up in something like his best form, he'll just win.
Okay. So Kyprios for Johnny is the lay of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Keeley, the one horse that won't be winning this week?
I was going to say Kyprios as well,
It's
but
okay,
I'll change my mind. I'll go to August Road in the Prince of Wales.
On Wednesday, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time he's got beat when he's actually turned up for a race last time, and Whitebird's absolutely thrashed him. I'm just not convinced. I don't think he's that straightforward. But I think he's obviously not that straightforward. Inspire could be interesting going up on a trip. I really like Horizon Door. The form book says that all his form was on with a bit of cut, but I mean, French going doesn't bear any resemblance to reality, and several of his best wins have been on very fast ground, and I think he's going to love it. He was third in the champion last year on bottomless ground. He'll be much better on the surface he's going to get this week. Okay,
so it's been a bad week for Aidan O'Brien so far. Kyprios has been beaten. Augusta Rodin has been beaten. Are you going to get an Aidan O'Brien shot beaten?
Whistle jacket. Sorry.
Aidan, go home.
Do the treble.
Whistle jackets you don't like?
No, I just think it's too short. I think there's enough in there against it. Yeah. And it was impressive last time, but I want to see him go and do it again.
Okay, and
fairness, you're asking for a short price lay of the week, and how many other trainers have got short price classes running?
Absolutely.
There's about 4 options, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was almost inevitable, so it was. Okay, so that's the lay of the week. Now the long shot of the week. This is where you guys come good. Big price, something maybe over 12s, 14s, 20s. You can go 33s if you want, Matt.
Right, okay.
The one long shot for the week.
Well, I nearly napped Nocturnal in the Sandringham. I think she's a great bet.
What price?
She's about 16-1. James Ferguson's looked after her for this. It's good that there hasn't been much rain. She'll love the faster ground. I think she's a knocking bet, 16-1. You could go strong each way, but I just think she's got a great chance.
And from Nocturnal to a man that doesn't sleep, sharing a room with Paul Keeley this week. 4:30 this morning?
Yeah.
4:30, up. You'd swear it was 12 o'clock in the middle of the day at 4:30 this morning for Paul Keeley. Your long shot of the week?
Yeah, I quite like Cracking Golden at Britannia for Clive Cox. He was going to run him in the Silver Bowl at Haydock, which he won for the same owners with Crack On and Who Put 50 in You. Had to take him out because the ground went soft. His 4th at Sandown last time, that race has already worked out well. The runner-up finished second in the Italian Derby, and it was one of those typical Sandown races where the first 3 just raced in the first 3 all the way round. He was the only one who made any sort of ground up. Wasn't beaten very far. Strong run race, fast ground, absolutely bang on perfect.
Beautiful, cracking goal for Paul Keeley, and to complete the trio, Johnny Deneen.
Yeah, I'll go Air Commander I think it's Britannia.
Yeah, that's a big price.
It's a 25 chance. It's in around that anyway. I'd say, look, it's
what do you know?
This is its ground again. It's been running a bit on the slower surfaces, and it had won in Dundalk earlier on the year, and it didn't perform great in Naas and performed only average again the next day. But I'd say this is its ground. I have a feeling that you'll see a better animal here.
Okay, there we go. Air Commander for Johnny Deneen. Those are your long shots of the week, and that's the preview of the week, our mini little preview, a little extra for you at the start of Royal Ascot. But now, let's get stuck into the action on Tuesday at Royal Ascot. The first race, of course, is the Queen Anne, the traditional curtain raiser. It's due off at 2:30, and at the moment, it is the French raider Factor Cheval who leads the market at 130 with Paddy Power. CHARYN is 7-2 for Roger Varian and Sylvester de Souza. Big Rock being very well supported in the last 48 hours. Big Rock now into 9-2. Is it soft enough for Big Rock? We'll find out what the panel think. Audience, was it a fluke in the Lock-inch? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what the panel think. Audience is an 8-1 shot. It's 9-1 Maljoom. Dockland's well supported from 16s into 12s. And it is 14-1 Bar. So, Johnny Deneen, we'll start with you. A really tricky Queen Anne. We've no Inspiral, who would have been favourite. What do you think is the most likely winner?
Look, I do think it's an open race. It looks less than a vintage renewal, doesn't it? To me, it does anyway. Like, I don't see anything that's like anywhere near you could describe as unbeatable. Like Factor Cheval has like been beaten several times. Okay, he won a race in his latest start, but he's beaten by Big Rock here last year. Beaten well. Like, he's a good chance, and then I suppose CHARYN is a good chance. But like, its form is tied in with the likes of Poker Face, who was, you'd say, would have very little chance in a race like this, and even beaten like the Lord North, like it's not even a mile. He's 8 years of age. Like, it was second in the Lock-inch, all right. That was a funny race too, but like, they don't look like horses that set an insurmountable standard. Big Rock's the same. You'd have to say he was disappointed here at the last meeting. He looks like an out-and-out front runner. The minute he doesn't get the lead, he doesn't want to know. And there's going to be plenty of pace here with like the Big Rock, Audience, them kind of horses. They're all going to be up there. The horses I was leaning, I was going to pick two here actually.
You can pick two, John. We'll let you have two.
Yeah, just for out. They're not huge prices. I like Doolally. My horse Doolally, Doolally, whatever he's like. I give that a good chance, definitely. Yeah,
Make you great with your pronunciations, aren't you? CHARYN.
Yeah,
CHARYN.
I call that CHARYN.
For any
I
of the
wouldn't call
Snapper
that.
fans, we're calling CHARYN CHARYN.
I don't think the guy that bought that called it Sharon. Does he? He calls that Sherry. He's probably a classy individual.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, unlike us. Yeah.
CHARYN is the name of that horse, isn't it? Surely. I'll go with Doolally. It looks to me that it wants this kind of ground. It has a tongue strap on it, and I just read the other day that it worked someplace in France, and its breeding was good. Or something that said that anyway. So that it obviously has a slight issue with its breeding. It is formed in the all-weather, and it has formed tied in with a horse called Tribalist, who was formed tied in with Factor Cheval, which wouldn't put a lot between them. And like, it was a bigger price. It was 20-1. It's down to 14 or 15-1. I think. Yeah, Tom C.
Yeah, I was going to say one of our premier tipsters in the Racing Post, Tom Siegel, today on page 34 has said Doolally, as Johnny calls it, pick of French contingent in Queen Anne's.
Yeah, I was going to go with that, and I was going to throw in maybe Royal Scotsman.
Well, what can we expect from Royal Scotsman today? Well, will he be ridden positively again?
I'd say he'd be ridden like back to go revert to type, which will suit this place. Because if you're making the run in here, you'll hardly win most races up the straight track anyway. I don't think you want to be in front of it.
If they try and lead with him, he's got no chance.
No, I wouldn't think so either. Yeah.
No chance. He's got a horse.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. And I'd say I could see him. Like, Spencer rides this track well, and it suits his style of riding. Like, you'd rather horses ridden negatively than positively up the straight track. You have no chance if you're in front here with 3 furlongs to go in any race, as far as I can see. Generally speaking, anyway, don't you? Like, you know what I mean? So I'd give him a chance. Like, he proved that he stayed a mile well at Epsom, and they were the two at 14 and 16-1. I think I'd chance both of them.
Beautiful. So Doolally for Johnny Deneen and Royal Scotsman in the Queen Anne. Keels, what have you found for us?
Yeah, well, when you get a big field Queen Anne and it's sort of wide open in the betting, I'd like to look at former handicappers with top Ascot form coming in, and there are a couple in here. Witch Hunter won the Buckingham Palace last year. Now he blotted his copybook, ran terrible at Adop last time, but I think he does want a straight track and he'll run better. But I've got preference now for Docklands. His Ascot form is great. 1-1, 3-2. Last time he got really fast ground here was in the Britannia last year. He won his side by 6 lengths. He beat the New Endeavour by half a length on the other side. He's just been second in the Grade 1 Doomben Cup in Australia. And he was third last year in the Balmoral, one of the only horses that could come off the pace on that very strange day when nothing could. And second last time when he had to make the running in a small field to Coudoir, who was being quite well supported for this at one point a few weeks ago. And making the running is no good to him whatsoever. Like, so I think.
What do you make of the run in France?
I think it was fair enough. Again, it was bottomless ground. He's coming. I know he handles it, but it's just the way he strode out to win the Britannia. I'd say he'd be better on fast ground. Haley Turner's 4 Royal Ascot wins have all been on the straight track. I just think he's got a fair each way chance at the prices. He does have an awful lot to find, it has to be said, but I just think he's going to be run to suit. And we know handicappers have won this in the past.
Is there still a bit of juice in that price of 12 to 1?
Wouldn't want to go much lower. He'll drift out again. He'll drift out again. It won't be 12s.
Docklands for Paul Keeley at 12 to 1. And to complete our Queen Anne tipping, Matt Williams, do you like anything at a big price?
Do you know what? I thought I'd found one yesterday. So I'm on a WhatsApp group with Keels and I found the Queen Anne. Dalali or Doolally, as Johnny called it. So, and then a couple of hours later, Tom's tipped it, and the juice has gone out the price to an extent.
What price did you get?
I haven't backed it yet because I was going to. I think a couple of the boys on the group have backed it, and then obviously Tom had backed it later, and so I'll just bet them later on. I'll probably still get 12.
Like me, you spend too much time talking about it and not acting.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm
you miss
thinking
the
him
price.
clever. I just loved his profile. He's 5-year-old. He's been racing on soft ground on the turf outside of the all-weather races. It's not Group 1 winning form, but it's Group 1 form. And I just think Johnny said it all about it. He's got a great chance. What I don't want to say is I don't want to see them leading with it. If he stays further than a mile, the temptation's got to be to have him up there. But I don't want to see that. I want to see him in behind. And if he is, I'll have a little go in running as well.
Okay, so we've got 2 votes for Doolally. Keels is sticking with Docklands, the handicapper, moving into Group 1. I'm with CHARYN.
Can I give Maldoom a shout as well?
You can, yeah.
He's got a good chance. I'll probably back him too. Okay. He was unlucky in the St James's Palace 2 years ago. Probably should have won it that day. And I'd say they wouldn't bother with the entry if he didn't think he had a good chance. And Haggis is coming into form.
I said in the Racing Post today that there's so many questions about all of these, isn't there? Like, you can kind of say, if you do fancy something, there's a negative to every horse almost. I just thought CHARYN, or how are you pronouncing it again, Jared?
CHARYN.
CHARYN.
I'd go CHARYN.
CHARYN, you're going with CHARYN. We'll stick with CHARYN then. I thought with CHARYN, he was probably the one, you know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be in the first 3.
If it was soft ground, I'd be quite strong on it.
Yeah.
The ground's a worry for me. I just think it makes him an ordinary enough horse at Group 1 level.
Okay. He is progressive, I think, though. I think he's getting there. I think he's getting towards winning a Group 1. So I'm with CHARYN for me in the opener. And that was your Queen Anne preview. And how would you like some free bets for the first day of Royal Ascot? Next up at 3:05 is the Coventry Stakes, and I have never known a more open Coventry Stakes in my lifetime. Currently, you're 11 to 2. Yes, it's 11 to 2 the field. Johnny Deneen is in cold sweats here beside me. 11 to 2 the field, and the site is now your favourite at 11 to 2. Strongly supported. Opening show about an hour ago with Paddy Power was about 7 to 1. Now it's 11 to 2. Camille Pissarro is 11 to 2 joint favourite as well, being reasonably solid at the top of the market. Coward of the County, a little bit weak on the exchanges this morning, still 11 to 2. So we've 11 to 2 co-favourites. We've got Camille Pissarro, Coward of the County, and the site. Yeah, Moby there is 7 to 1. It is Catalyze is 10 to 1, and it is 11 to 1 Al Qudra. You are very, 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 very sweet on one here, Matt Williams.
Yeah, and the site for me. I like Yeah Moby there. I backed it at York. Holly Doyle rode him. She probably should have won. She made a massive mid-race move. He hit the front looking like he was going to win it, and then Anderside just loomed up. And it was a tight finish, but I just think on this track, Yeah Moby there is a lot speedier, but stamina's going to come into play, and I think Carl Berg's horse is going to win out again. He'll probably put a bit more distance.
What did you like about Anderside on debut?
I just thought he probably wasn't 100%, just judging by the betting. I think Spencer's horse probably was, and I just think he's bred to get better on a track like this. Whereas the other horse, I wouldn't have been surprised to see him turn up in one of the 5 furlong races. Yeah Moby there, he looks a speedy horse. I just think Anderside's he's got battling qualities.
And for people watching the show, you know, Anderside was 10s, I think as big as 12s, was maybe 8 to 1 yesterday, 7 to 1 this morning. They're looking at 11 to 2. Yeah. Do you still think at 11 to 2, Anderside is a bet? Yeah,
I do. Yeah, Carl Berg has said that he wasn't quite fully wound up on his debut. You know, we know how well Carl Berg's doing these days. So when he speaks, you've got to listen. And you just see the evidence of the York. And he pulled miles clear of the third. I think it was a good race. The second, they've got massive respect for Yeah Moby there. I think he'll run a great race today. I expect Tom Marquand, I like that jockey booking as well. I think he's a better option for this horse than Holly Doyle is.
You think Moby there might be the last off the bridle here?
Possibly so, yeah. But I can see it coming under pressure late on.
The man to your left thinks he'll win.
I wouldn't go that strong, but I think he's going to run a massive race. I love, it probably did go too soon, but I just love the way he did it at York. I mean, he breezed up and went past Andersight on the bridle, and then, we had a little bit of disagreement. I just think he wandered around because he didn't really know what he was doing once he hit the front. It's quite possible that he did get tired because he'd made that move. But I think, when you've got that change of gear, if you can hold on to them, and I'm sure Tom Markham will.
He'll do a better job than Holly Doyle did. Anyway.
I think he's going to go very close. But the main reason for backing him against Andersight is because Andersight was starting to tumble in price yesterday morning, and Yamo B there was almost double the price in a couple of places. There's less between them now. I do like that York form, so I like both of the runners basically. But Yamo B there at a bigger price. Just the difference between them yesterday didn't make sense. But they're a lot closer together now.
Yeah, Moby there is currently a 7-1 shot with Paddy Power. Talk to me about these Irish juveniles, Johnny Deneen. Coward of the county, first of all. I was very impressed today he won in the Curragh. I was there, saw him in the parade ring. He is a beast of a horse. He's a fine specimen, gorgeous looking horse. You're not too keen on him today, though?
No, not overly, no. Look, he beat Whistle Jacket, and I'd say Whistle Jacket would have probably come on a lot for that run, to be honest. And he could be slightly flattered by that run. I wasn't mad about him, and I definitely wasn't mad about Camille Pizarro.
Really? Why?
No, I just thought his finishing effort was too tame in the Curragh the last day. I actually backed him, and the horse in front of him, an Ammo horse, has made the running and has been too free, and he came up, looked as if he was going running all over him, and actually headed him and got out battled. And I thought it was a very weak effort, like from the furlong pole to the line. And on top of that, there was three other horses right up on top of him. If they went another 100 yards, he wouldn't even been placed.
Wasn't it one of those races where, when the race finished, you almost couldn't believe he hadn't won, because he looked to have beaten the winner, and then he was beaten?
Yeah, well, like we're furlong down, I just said this is over. There's no offers. Like Ryan Moore coming on a horse and against a horse that had been too free, so there's no offers. It's going to win 99 out of 100, but it didn't win, and it was dying going to the line, and wouldn't even have been, if they went another 50 yards, there was a 101 chance actually going to pass it. So I didn't fancy that. Look, Coward of the County has one run, and to me this is like a Cheltenham bumper insofar as there's so many horses here that arrive with one run and you don't actually know how good they are.
He looked good on debut, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but I wonder what kind of a race it was now myself. On the day, you know what I mean? I do think Whistle Jacket is a very good horse now, and if they met now, I'd fancy him to reverse.
If it was soft ground today, Coward of the County would probably be 5-2, you'd imagine.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I might be wrong
Fair
though.
enough,
I don't
Johnny,
think so.
That's all right.
Definitely be favourites.
It's a stable that it's very hard to get a hold of as well. Their horses run a lot, very inconsistent in my eyes. They do anyway. And I was actually going to pick. Another thing boys around about Moby there and the site or whatever it's called.
And the site.
And on the site or whatever. Yeah. Like, I know it's a generalisation, but I think York form isn't worth a carrot.
That's fair enough.
Like 2-year-old form, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it can be like that. Same as Newbury. Some of the 2-year-old races, Newbury not worth a carrot as well.
And is there any reasoning behind that?
Well,
I don't know what it is, but it often turns up like that, doesn't it?
I just think that, okay, the maidens in places like Newmarket and in places there'll be stronger races than, because the southern trainers normally don't go there, do they? Like it's Carl Buck again. Like there was probably none of the real top outfits had horses in those races.
No, there was just strong messages about these two.
Yeah. I had a tip for Moby there myself. Like Aidan O'Brien had a horse in that race, and I don't think it's any good. You know what I mean? So
well, I just think Spencer's won this race before. Roger Singh won.
That's right. Yeah.
He's had some. He's had 3 other horses finishing the first.
Yeah, no. I just
50, 66s and 150s.
There will be for us watching this and saying that horse won in York, and you're talking through your bum.
Well, no, I know what you're saying. You're right.
But I just think, generally speaking, I don't really.
I think plenty of horses has come on from York and won at Royal Ascot. I'm pretty sure they have.
They probably have, but I just think that it's vulnerable enough for him. And the one I was going to go with is Joseph O'Brien's other horse, Midnight Strike.
Johnny, you're talking through your bum.
I'm telling you, I just think in another 50 yards that would have beat Camille Pizarro after being the first horse in trouble. I liked his finishing effort in relation to Camille Pizarro, who did not finish in in the Curragh, and at the prices, he's about 25 to 1. Camille Pissarro is 6 to 1. Maybe the two of them have no chance, I don't know, but at them kind of prices, in a race as difficult as this, I'd be going that way.
I mean, it's 11 to 2 to fill for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah,
I was looking at the history. I was looking at the history of this race the other day, and 7 of the last 10 winners went into this race with a better RPR on the book than every single runner in this race.
Wow.
So it's wide open for a reason, and nothing sets a high standard. Anything could come up. I mean, this unraced horse, Angelo Buonarroti. What do we know about that?
That's short.
It's actually been backed. A million quid at the breeze ups.
Go away.
I mean, you do get horses winning here on
Well,
debut.
Chief Singer was the last one
It's a long time ago. It's 40 years ago.
You know what I mean? It probably doesn't have to be as good as Chief Singer to win this.
No.
Yeah, I think there's been more recent ones as well. And
Not the Coventry, though.
no, not in the Coventry, no.
Matt, what about Al Kudra, who I was given a chance to, obviously going from a novice stakes at Lingfield to Royal Ascot winning the Coventry is not the conventional route to doing it, but there was just something about that performance. Very rarely you see at Lingfield a horse being so keen and so wide, winning as comfortably as he did.
Johnny talks about York form, Lingfield form on that straight track. Just a waste of time for me. It was on the
this.
straight track.
No,
wasn't
it
No,
wasn't.
it
No.
wasn't, no.
I was on the all weather.
No,
sorry,
Random, Ben.
You're talking through your bum bum.
I don't fancy that at all, actually.
But it's got beat
3
twice
runs.
as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, 3 runs. You'd have said like that. Something will come in here. There'll probably be some horse announce himself in a race like this, won't there? Like,
Yeah.
But it's finding the one at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning ain't that easy.
Okay, so there we go. Right, selections then for the Coventry Stakes. Wide open, it's 11 to 2 to field. Johnny Denny?
I'll go midnight strike each way. Yeah.
22 to 1 with Paddy Power, midnight strike for Johnny. Paul Keeley.
Yarmo be there, not singing it.
Now 15 to 2 on the drifts. When we started this conversation, Yamo be there was 7 to 1. Now it's 15 to 2. So we'll see what people think of Paul Keeley now. Matt Williams. Strong. Bit of conviction there. And the site currently 11 to 2 shot with Paddy Power. That is your Coventry Stakes preview. It's off at 3:05 and moving swiftly on. It doesn't get any easier, folks. It's the King Charles III Stakes, formerly the King Stand. It's got a new name this year. And Big Evs is currently your 16 to 5 favourite with Paddy Power. Regional is 9 to 2. It is 8 to 1 Rogue Lightning. Asfura is 9 to 1. 9 to 1 also Believing, who has been very much on the drift this morning, Believing from 7s, 8 to 9s. Twilight Calls 11 to 1. 12 to 1 Kurdos. 12 to 1 Valiant Force and 14 to 1 Bar. Big Evs, Johnny Deneen, banker today.
They're certainly on a banker, but he has his chance. Again, this is a tricky race. Again, the top end of the market, they don't set a standard that you'd say is unbeatable or anything like it. But I like Big Evans the last day, the fact that he proved didn't have to be in front. You know what I mean? It's a big help, and he can race from behind and he can come and pass horses. You know that he wasn't like a one-trick pony as such, and that he had to be out and gone. And look, he's a good chance. He was a good 2-year-old. Obviously, he won the America. He had a good career as a 2-year-old at the same time.
Is 16 to 5 value?
No, it is not. No, I wouldn't think so. I again think this is an open race. There are horses here, loads of horses with chances, and the straight track is always tricky to find winners. I think it is anyway. And look, I wouldn't put anyone off him as such. I'm not saying I'd be laying him for big money or anything like that, but at 16 to 5, he wouldn't appeal at all to me, to be honest. No, he wouldn't.
Anything appeal to you?
I was giving that a chance. Diligent Harry. I think, like, looking at his ratings, he's really up there with anything. He was 33 to 1. He's a way shorter now for some reason, you know.
14s now.
Yeah. That's more like his price now. And that, like Matty said about a horse there earlier on, the first one, Dolali, like the juice is half gone out of his price now. Like at 33 to 1, I said these wouldn't be my kind of races, but I didn't understand how he was the 33 to 1 chance. Like Clive Cox is a kind of I suppose he wouldn't really pigeonhole him, but he's a kind of a sprinter's trainer. So he definitely has some sort of a chance. Look, in a race where I'd be keeping the stakes pretty low, he'd be the one I'd be going for, to be honest. Okay. Each way, maybe, you know.
Diligent Harry at 14 to 1 for Johnny Deneen. This is kind of your thing, Keels.
Yeah, well, I love sprints anyway. But yeah, I mean, think about Diligent Harry. It was badly the wrong price early doors. Like, you know what I mean? There are. The highest official rating of any horse in this race is 114, and the second highest is 113. He's 113 joint with Big Evs, and it's not as if he hasn't been in form. He's been in the actual form of his life. He won his first 2 starts on the all-weather this year. Won Le Pen and Clarendon House pointless at Southwell. Returned an RPR 117. He's run 3rd in a grade 1 in Maidan, and he was beaten a neck by Millstream in the Duke of York last time. And obviously that one's joint favourite for the Golden Jubilee. So what's he doing at, he's 40 to 1 early doors. He's been in the form of his life. The best RPR over 5 furlongs this season in Britain is 118 from Kurdos in the Temple Stakes. Diligent Harry's got 117 at Southall and 117 at York over 6 furlongs. I mean, it was just a mad price. Now, he's got 2 poor runs at Ascot to his name, so you've got to take that into account. But one of them was on bottomless ground, and he was 50 to 1 for the other one earlier in his career. He's 7 from 11 on the all-weather, so I think he'll be all right. 14 to 1, I mean, he's getting towards his price, isn't he? But he is right up there. I mean, let's face it.
He's a strong stay at the trip as well.
Yeah, exactly. Let's face it. All right, this is a Group 3, but it says it's a Group 1.
Absolutely.
114. The fly in the ointment for me is obviously the Aussie.
This is what I was going to say to you. If this is a
could-
Group 3 full of mediocre sprinters over here, surely the Aussie sprinter just comes and takes it.
Well, she could be better. She has better figures than that earlier this season in Australia, but she gets beat a lot.
She just about creeps into the top 10 sprints in Australia, they say, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's it.
Just about.
She gets beat a lot, but if you're in the top
Most
10,
of them would win this, though.
if you're in the top 10 sprinters on Australia, you'll win this 2 lengths. So I'll definitely be saving
She
on
looked
her.
a short runner.
She's a very strong traveller, and even listening to the trainer's quotes, she will be on the bridle of furlong. He's just worried about those last 100 yards.
She's got a shorter stride than Johnny.
Yeah.
Coming up that hill before.
But hasn't she kind of showed her hand already? Like, it's not as if she's running, like, arriving from Australia.
Yeah.
We've never seen her run. Like, she ran in Haydock. And like, if that's as good as anywhere near as good as she is, she
Not
won't win
far-
here.
She's not that far off him on that because she was obviously had a penalty there. Like, you know what I mean? So
But I don't see, I don't see how you'd be worried about her at the same time. You know that kind of way?
Okay, so Diligent Harry so far has been the panel pick. Are you going to complete the hat-trick with Diligent
No,
Harry?
I respect his chances, but I like Valiant Force. Last year's Norfolk winner, he won a massive price last year, but he backed that run up and showed it was no fluke later on. He wasn't far behind Big Evs in the Breeders' Cup juvenile sprint, I think it was. He was flying at the end. He's back with his trainer from last year. He had the spell in America, so hopefully he's had enough time to reacclimatise. I think he's got a good chance. He's a strong stay at the trip, and he obviously likes the track.
Beautiful.
He's a big price, about 16 to 1, isn't he?
Do you think with Big Evs, just to talk a little bit about Big Evs, there's people coming here say, he was brilliant last year, won at the meeting, won at the Breeders' Cup. Is he maybe the superstar sprinter we've been waiting for now?
I wouldn't say superstar.
Okay.
But I think he's got a superstar trainer who handles these sprinters better than anyone, or as good as anyone. So I mean that gives a little bit of steel to the form. The fact he's got a trainer that knows what's what with the sprinters.
Are you lukewarm about Big Evs as well?
I want to say lukewarm.
He's got a favourite's chance,
but I think
hasn't
he's short enough. I mean, it wasn't a great race that he won last time, was it? Really, at York? It wasn't brilliant, was it? And he didn't absolutely destroy him. He destroyed him mid-race, but I think he's got to be better than that to win this.
Okay, there we go.
The one thing I would say about Big Evs is the last day he ran in York, the models, they liked him. They rate him, obviously, and I'd say they like him again here.
He's a winner. He's a winner, isn't he?
I'd say they priced him a lot shorter than he was, and they forced him into that price that day. I've an idea that they'd do something similar. I could see that going off a bit
Who are we
shorter.
talking to? Naomi Campbell? Who else like that?
Most
Kate
of
Moss.
Kate Moss, yeah.
Kate doesn't bet any
Showed
more.
her age.
No.
Kate gave it up, yeah.
So the models are keen on Big Ev.
Yeah, whatever the robots or models or whatever you like to call them.
We'll go with models. Okay, 2 votes for Diligent Harry and Valiant Force for Matt Williams in a very, very wide open sprint. I thought it was tricky. I thought the Aussie sprinter had a bit of a chance, but it would be a no-bet race for me. Moving on to the 425, and this is, I would say, the race of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It is the St. James's Palace Stakes. It is the 1-2 from the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket. It sees notable speech against Rosalia, notable speech rock solid at the top of the market at 6-5. Rosalia and Tom Siegel's pick in the Racing Post 130. Henry Longfellow, very, very well supported into 7-2. Henry Longfellow. Allian Abbey is currently an 18-1 shot. Darlinghurst 18-1. We'll give you a full show because it's the St. James's Palace Stakes. Almacam is 22-1. Metropolitan, the French Guineas winner, is 25-1. An unquestionable, a Breeders' Cup winner, a Group 1 winner, and a classy juvenile is the outsider of the entire field at 28-1, Johnny Deneen. That tells you just how good this race is. This is a corker. This is the race of the week for me.
Yeah, it's one of them. I always like the St James Palace Stakes. There's always something classy about that. Anyway, it's kind of mixture of you've the French and you've an Irish and English. The three Guineas winners are here, and that doesn't happen that often. Actually, the fact that the French horse is such a big price, like probably a pointer to his chance. I don't fancy him. I couldn't see him winning. It's probably going to boil down to the 3.
Will you get stuck into the favourite at 6 to 5?
I won't be getting stuck into too much of this meeting at all, to be honest. Not at these kind of odds. I do fancy the favourite, but like stuck in, I'll probably back him maybe, all right. But it won't be life or death situation or anything like it. No. Look, I do think he'll win, but literally anything can get beat here. I think you do, and I've seen it over the years. You can fancy short ones here, and it isn't a great place for back and skinny ones really. But I do think he's a great chance. I do think he's the horse to beat. On his running, he's been around the bend and he likes good ground, and there was no fluke about what he did at I couldn't have fancied him in the English Guineas, but he did it well and he looked the best horse in the race. There didn't look to be any fluke about it. He beat Rosallion in my eyes fair and square. Fellas are saying now that Rosallion needed the run. I don't see Hannon's horses turning up at the Guineas needing runs very often. Saying that maybe he'll come on the benefit of a run, because your man had been running through the winter in the all-weather, notable speech. But I thought he looked a really good horse, and he's unbeaten. And I'd be with him until he gets beaten anyway. I don't really fancy Henry Longfellow here myself.
Okay, so myself and Keels obviously staying in the same room, 2 twin beds. Both of us, I don't know if we're spending too much time together, we're very much in the Henry Longfellow camp.
Well, I was up at 4:30, by the way. Snores like a train.
Keels will give you the case in a minute as well for Henry Longfellow. To me, Johnny, he is going to be your outstanding 3-year-old miler this season. I loved him last season. I think there's more to come from him this season. Forget about France. France was an absolute mess from start to finish.
Yeah.
You've seen with City of Troy the difference between first to second start. I know there was the heart rate issue and everything, but there must be a chance that Henry Longfellow can take a massive leap forward. You must be, if you're back a notable speech, you have to be scared of Henry Longfellow.
I wouldn't be, to be honest. No, I don't fancy Henry Longfellow at all. That's my own personal opinion.
Right.
On the grounds of his 2-year-old form, he's beaten Islands in the Stream twice.
Yeah, hammered him.
Hammered him. Okay, I looked
What's he supposed to do?
Islands in the Stream is out in Tin or someplace, not running in handicaps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I had.
Yeah, good
He beat
handicaps out there. Johnny.
I can aero Forte in the National Stakes. I know he didn't run his race, but he still beat him.
I didn't think he was that unlucky in France. I actually thought he ran bad in France, to be honest. And look
What do you mean he wasn't that? Sure, everything went wrong.
Look at what kind of a race it was. That, like
what are you pointing at here?
I'm pointing at Metropolitan. That was an absolute donkey derby, the French Guineas, as well at the same time. Like he'd want to have been even winning that to be 7-2 in a race.
Apologies to our French viewers. We won't be doing Good Morning Longchamp
But
anytime soon anyway.
it just goes to show what kind of race it was. When Metropolitan, the winner of it, is 25-1 in this race.
Yeah, but Johnny, can you not see, like Metropolitan, right, is 25-1. Henry Longfellow is 7-2.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know about how the race went
Well,
for
one
Henry
is trained by
Longfellow.
Aidan O'Brien and one is a French
No, but
horse.
Johnny's
The
bored.
vibes, the vibes were stinking as well beforehand.
With Henry Longfellow,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I
yeah.
thought he was meant to run like that, and the fact that they're coming here suggests a bit of stable confidence.
Well,
Do you know, we've seen what happened with City of Troy.
Yeah, of course.
the thing that interests me from the very first time I spoke to Aidan O'Brien this season, which might have been back in March, with Henry Longfellow, there was one race and one race only that he kept speaking about, was the St James's Palace Stakes, which I thought was very strange considering, you know, Guineas, you know, different types of race. I thought it was an interesting race to target so early, and he's here now after that calamity in France. I think he's a very good horse. You think the favourite will win?
Yeah, I do think he'll win. I think with a clean race, you know, which isn't a given, by the way. I think with a clean race and a clean run through it, I think he's the best horse in the race, yeah. I like Rosallion. I thought what he did in Ireland, he went up in my estimations. I wasn't a great believer before Ireland, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong that day for him. I was laying him in running. I just couldn't believe the way he picked up and the way he got there 2 furlongs out. It marks him down as a really good horse. But I think the Godolphin horse he put him to bed easily in the Guineas. I think it'll be a similar story today. He's just better than him.
I did think the interview with William Buick after the Guineas was really interesting because he was a big price. He'd only won at Kempton on the all-weather 3 times.
They were raving about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, look, I was going to bed thinking to myself, am I mad here thinking this horse is going to win a Guineas? Like, so they obviously knew something from his homework at home that he was a bit special.
Do we think the best miler is still City of Troy? Which means like all of this lot. We're going on about French, Irish, English Guineas winners. Maybe there is. I'd fancy City of Troy.
See, I was going to say, stupid question, right? Obviously a hypothetical question, stupid question. If City of Troy, obviously he won the Derby, if Aidan O'Brien said, you know what, let's come to St James's Palace Stakes, back to what price would he be today?
I don't know, but he'd win it.
Yeah, but what price would he be?
He'd be short.
Keels?
I've literally no idea.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he needs.
I did say it was a stupid.
Would you fancy him, Keels?
He's bred. No, I wouldn't know because he's bred to stay and he needs a trip now. I think so.
Okay.
I think he'd be odds on in this.
Do you think he'd be odds on against Notable Speech?
I think
So we're saying that Notable Speech is.
Well, obviously Henry Longfellow wouldn't be running, so you take him out, put him in, and you're making him.
Oh, you're putting a bit of thought into this.
You're making him in a 5 to 4 on chance, aren't you? Like probably, you know.
Okay. Make the case properly for Henry Longfellow now.
Well, I mean, the things about betting short prices. I know there's a couple of people confident about Notable Speech. I don't know whether it's just the way I look at races. I get confident about outsiders. I try and find. I tend to find negatives for short prices, and I don't know why. That's just the way. It is just the way I look at it, I suppose. Yeah. But there was an old adage when I was growing up and I'm getting into racing, like the fittest horse wins the Guineas, the luckiest horse wins the Derby, and the best horse wins the Leger. All right, and it's nonsense, obviously. But
I was going to say, I didn't want to tell you.
But there's no doubt whatsoever that Notable Speech was very much the fittest horse, and he's already run 3 times. He was rock hard fit. So others are entitled to get closer to him. Obviously, it went perfectly for him. Will it go perfectly here? Because there's no guaranteed place in the race at all. He's been held up last every single time he's run. So what does he do? Does he sit last? All right. What happens in the race? I just see, it's the smallest field going. I see more trouble running in this race than I do in some of the others. And that worries me. So I couldn't back him. And the more I'm looking at it, I think that unquestionable will pop out. I think unquestionable will pop out in front, and Henry Longfellow will sit off him and go for home early. And yeah, I just, the other thing is that Irish Guineas with Azalian. Like, I would, if I'd have known River Tiber was going to come here, I'd have had a good bet on him. Because I thought he was really tenderly handled that day. He got 3 minor smacks with the whip with it, where they were going hell for leather on the other 2. And it was a massive eye-catching run for me. But all the time, Aidan O'Brien has had Henry Longfellow as his number 1. And I would definitely have backed River Tiber to turn around the gate. And if he thinks Henry Longfellow's a better horse, that's good enough for me. And I think he might get the run of the race.
How surprised would you be if Henry Longfellow won?
I'll be surprised because I think the ground is against him on top of everything else, I think he's very, very short. It's okay.
Will you lay him at 7 to 2?
I'll be against him anyway in some shape or form. I guarantee you I'll be showing a negative if he does actually win.
Okay.
I'd be inclined to even place lame, I think.
Place lame as well?
I don't fancy him myself. This is just my only personal opinion anyway. I won't be surprised because Aidan O'Brien can do funny stuff with horses. I won't be amazed or anything like that, but I just don't fancy him. And I just think his form isn't good enough, and I think his ground could be quick enough for him. And I just don't like his overall profile, to be honest.
Best pedigree of the entire meeting, and Dubarry's have a cracking record at Ascot as well. So,
is he an out-and-out miler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think he is?
I'd say he's a 10 furlong horse.
Yeah, I think
he has speed.
He could easily go.
I think Notable Speech.
Go further.
Notable Speech is the fastest horse in the race.
I think so too.
Do you know what I mean? Which brings, if he does get into a spot about the.
You think Notable Speech is faster than Rosalian, yeah? Okay.
I do, yeah.
I do too.
I think he's got a better turn of foot, yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of horses would look fast against Islands in the Stream myself, to be honest.
You've got
even a few out in Chatting.
Hooray Islands in the Stream is getting an awful doing this morning.
Even changed the name in them.
So there you go. That is our St James's Palace Stakes preview. It is a corker. I think it's the race of the week. We have a divided panel. Myself and Keels in the same room. We're in the same camp here as well with Henry Longfellow, and it is Notable Speech for Matt Williams and Johnny Deneen. It's at 4:25, and it's not to be missed. It's the St James's Palace Stakes. Moving on to the 5:05. It is the first long distance race of the week. It is the Ascot Stakes, and we have got the big gamble of the last 24 hours. Zandabad, currently our 7 to 2 favourite, with Paddy Power for Cathy O'Leary, Tony Martin's sister. William Buick has been booked. 7 to 2 favourite, rock solid at the top of the market is Zandabad. Mylaika is on the drift out to 6 to 1 for Willie Mullins, and Ryan Murray's won the race 4 times, Willie Mullins, but not since 2018, which is interesting. Pied Piper is 7 to 1. Divine Comedy is 8 to 1. It's also 8 to 1 Nusret, who's been very well supported, and it is 9 to 1 Tritonic, and Tritonic was not 9 to 1 yesterday. It was a much bigger price, and somebody who took those bigger prices was Mr. Paul Keeley.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I like backing Ascot horses, and he's very much an Ascot horse, isn't it? He's run there 5 times. His only bad run was on absolutely bottomless ground. He was second in big handicap here a few years ago, just got beat by Highland Chief. He was third in this race last year off a £5 higher mark, and he's won both his hurdle starts, one in a grade 3 handicap. He's just got all that really good form, and when he came into the race last year, he'd had a really, really busy winter. but they decided to pull the plug on the jumps game this season to focus on the flat in the spring because the ground was getting so soft. So he didn't run after December. He's had 2 warm-ups on the flat in April on the all-weather. I think he's run well both times. He's back here, £5 lower than last year. I just think he's got to run well. I mean, he's getting towards the right price, I think. We've got a market dominated by Irish horses. Irish horses haven't won this for 5 years. Mm-hmm. 5 in a row for Britain. I can see the case for Zandabad for sure, because it was a massively eye-catching run at Chester when it was 3rd last time. And my Willie Mullins, you've got to fear it, but if it wasn't trained by Willie Mullins, it'd be 25s, wouldn't it? Couldn't win a Mickey Mouse maiden hurdle. You know, the 3rd was rated 112, I think. Like, you know what I mean? So he's got to show an awful lot more than that. Mm. But you know,
we could have been saying the same about Absurd.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And Absurd's won an Ebor and a County Earl since. That's why you respect him. Mm. But if he was with anybody else, he's a 25 chance, isn't he? And I can't back those. I cannot make myself back those. So I stay away from them. And you know, I'll just be very surprised if Tritonic was out of the frame and you get in 5 places or so. And yeah, it's just going to be there or thereabouts.
Good case, well made by Keels for Tritonic in the Ascot Stakes. Johnny, a few familiar jumpers in here. Is Zandabad the right favourite after that Chester Cup run?
I can't get over how short he is, Zandabad, yeah. Okay, like...
He was unlucky now.
I tell you what, he wasn't unlucky. Here, about 2 months ago, I backed him.
Oh, here we go. Johnny, you have to get over this.
No, he came to jumped the last in front into the lead against Geezer Rockstar, who would be a zillion cubed in a race like, yeah, absolutely, in a race like this. And actually, like with Sean Bowen on, you go a length in front on the right side in the maiden hurdle here at the end of the year on good ground which suits him, and threw it away. He's a horse that doesn't like winning. He's always seconds and thirds and finished. He looks like one that said, he should have won. He should have won in Musselburgh. He should have won in Chester. There's a lot of shouldas for a horse that's 7-2, in my opinion, anyway. And like, I was looking at him, he's only getting £6 from the top horse. Like, he can't win a maiden hurdle, and he's getting £6 off Pied Piper, who can, like, who's far off being a champion hurdle.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't get over. When I saw the race first, I said, yeah, that has a chance. Chance, like, by meaning a 12-1 chance, like, but not at 7-2. And I'd be opposing him, because he's going to have to be landed on the line to win, by the looks of things. Okay, he's got William Buick, and you probably can win races like this coming late and all that kind of stuff. But I'd be against him, and I'd be able to, with Paul again, My Leica. I mean, that brand ordinary in a race in a hurdle race down in Killarney. And again, I say it's a bit like Henry Longfellow. You can't say for certain, like with trainers like Aidan O'Brien and Willie Mullins, that they can't do this and they can't do that because they can't do these funny things. But I couldn't be fancying My Leica or My Leica, whatever it's called. So
I think we're going with My Leica there, Johnny.
Or My Leica, yeah, whatever it's called. And I was going to go with Pied Piper. Like, he was 6th in this race 2 years ago. He's not far off a grade. He's definitely a grade 2 horse over.
He has been working well.
Yeah, and he's got Spencer on him. I just thought, like, he'd say he's given £6 to the favourite. He's a kind of a grade 2 minimum horse.
Is it dangerous to be reading too much into hurdle form, though?
Well, he has flat.
Like, should we not be judging Zandabad on the Chester Cup run rather than you losing your money here?
Pied Piper on his Cesarewitch run too at the same time, which is a cracking effort against the shunter. Like, I just think if they're good hurdle horses, they're invariably pretty good flat horses too. I'd be against Zandabad strongly now in this race like this, and I'd be going with Pied Piper.
Pied Piper currently a 7-1 shot with Paddy Power. You've heard a lot there. There's a lot to take in, Matt.
Yeah,
have you soaked it all in?
Yeah, well, do you know what? I think Zandabad, he's a strong traveller. I could see him trading shorter than what he is, and I know he's short.
Yeah.
I don't fancy him at all. But I think he could trade shorter in running. I'd want to be against him. He's a strong traveller, but he's a bit of a twicer. Yeah. I wouldn't like him in a finish. You know, you've got to come off the bridle.
Exactly.
And he's going to come from a long way back.
You've had it, yeah. Pied Piper, he's a class act. He's got 9 stone 12, but he's only given a stone to the bottom weight.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he's got a big chance. I'm going to go for 2 at a price. I like Almu Hit, who's the slowest horse in the race.
Good start, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I just think it's it's not a bad quality, if you know what I mean, in the 2.5 mile round here. He's been behind Bower Road a couple of times of late, but I think the stiffer test of stamina will suit him. And then Get Share to use a massive price. He's down £20 from his best form. His best form is unbelievable in the context of this race. It's just stamina. Now that lighter weight, the lower mark, might help him travelling.
Goes well here as well, doesn't he?
Goes well here. Danny Tudhope is as good as anyone.
You're a massive fan of Danny Tudhope here, especially, aren't you?
Yeah, he should be riding down south. I mean, up north in England, they're they're not the most talented bunch of riders, with respect. He should be down south, and he's one of the top 5 in the country for me.
Okay.
He's really good.
So those are your 2. Give them again at the prices.
Get CHARYN and Almu Hit.
And you're very much into the Tritonic camp, Keels.
I am, yeah. He's just going to run his race. Really, Alan King, last 14 runners at Royal Ascot, 3 winners, 3 seconds and a third. It's pretty good.
Pied Piper for Johnny Deneen, and before, like, we gave our selections for the show before this market move on Sandabad. I thought Sandabad would finish in the first 3. He is one of those. He's probably going to be unlucky again and he'll fly home, but I thought Sandabad was going to run a cracker here. For Cathy O'Leary and William Buick. And have you downloaded the Race and Post app? If you haven't, shame on you, because here's what you're missing. There we go, Matt Williams needs blinkers. One horse that does have blinkers, and it's a perfect segue in to the Wolferton Stakes. It is Israr, who's currently your 3-to-1 favourite, and it looks a 3-horse race according to the market. Israr is 3-to-1, Torito is 130, Botanical is 9-2, and it's 12-to-1 bar, so it's a very much 3-horse race according to Paddy Power's market at the moment. Matt Williams, Israr to me is not just the bet of the day, is not just the bet of, like, I suppose the latter stage of today. I think he's the best bet of the day. I think he's the best bet of the week. I think Israel will win. I think he's better class than these. His RPR last time of 119 would be good enough to win 4 of the last 5 renewals of this race. That run against Passenger at Chester is good enough to win this race. He's better than these. The best horse in the race. He's going to win. Tell me I'm right.
I think he's a pig. Now he has got the highest rating in the race, but he just doesn't win, does he? Doesn't win enough for me. And he's got that mark.
But how many Wolfertons has he ran in? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but he's running well behind good horses.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's giving him the mark. I just don't think he's 100%.
But is this not made from today? Fast pace.
When did he last win a race?
He hasn't won for a while, Keels. Yeah. You don't fancy him at all, Matt?
No.
You think he's the lay of the day?
I wouldn't say the lay of the day. I just can't have him. I just don't like the horse.
Fair enough. What do you like?
I like, what did I like in this race? I did like something in this race.
Torito, you liking?
Which one?
Torito,
yeah, down the bottom, I'm looking for it. Yeah, I like Torito, ran well in the meeting last year. I just think it's an open race and he's got a good chance.
Okay, Torito for you, and Matt is very much against my selection. Israel is my bet of the day. Keels?
John Gosden dominates the market here, doesn't he? 2 from 33 in the last fortnight.
Yes, now, I did a column about this on Saturday. He had a lot of kind of, horses between 5 and 12-to-1 second, maybe 4 or 5 seconds, 5 or 6 thirds. I think this is the week where John Gosden hits form. I think he's a big price at 16-to-1 to be top trainer this week.
I thought he was coming into form.
It might be, but it
one.
worries me a little bit. Anyway, the market suggests this is, between 2 or 3 horses, like, you know what I mean? Official rating suggests it's the complete opposite of that. It's a much, much tighter race. Much, much tighter race. Semhan, there are only 3 horses rated higher than Semhan. One of those has got, 2 of those are only by £1, and one of them's got to give him weight. And again, the ability to back horses at massive prices that are in the form of their lives is what I love about Royal Ascot. He ran his career best, dropped to 1 mile for 3 furlong at Kempton 2 starts ago. Next time out, he's been third to Middle Earth and King of Conquest at Newbury. They're 2 good horses, they are. King of Conquest bolted up in a listed race next time. That was Semhan's best run on a left-handed track by at least £10. So I think he's in the form of his life. He likes Ascot. He was 7th to Candleford a few years ago when getting no run whatsoever. He'd have been in the frame then. The only 2 horses to beat him in the Copper Horse last year were Vorbad, who's going for the Gold Cup this year, and Absurd. We've seen what he's done since. He won an Ebor, won a county hurdle. And he just ran out of stamina late on. He'd have been second 10 yards earlier. Like, you know what I mean? Now I know Vorbad was completely different class, but he was actually giving him weight. And yes, he's dropping in trip, but he races freely. And he also breaks quickly. His last 2 starts, he's broke really quick. So he's on the outside. There's not a massive amount of pace in here. I can see him getting across, being somewhere near the lead, and really kicking for home. And you look at the way he went through early in the straight last year. I just think he's an Ascot horse. He's a right-handed track horse because he loves Kempton. That's where his best form is. I think he's going to run a big race at a price.
Excellent. There we give the name again for viewers.
Semhan.
Semhan for Paul Keeley into Wolferton. Johnny Deneen, are you an Israr fan?
No, not really, no. I just think this is the kind of a place where you can draw a line through horses that have weak finishers and maybe untrustworthy. So they're the first. It's a bit like here, maybe Cheltenham, Galway, another place where if you think there's a bit of a doubt about one, they've no chance ever. And he'll find a way to lose, I think, Israr. I know he's clear on ratings, but I like Torito myself. I think he's a great chance here. I'd say he's been trained specifically for here, and his first run smacked to something needing to run. I'd say he's put away for this. Okay, he's 6 or 7 pound wrong, but I'd say he's a group horse in a group race. Well, he was a group horse in Handicap last year.
Yeah.
He's actually in a group right now. But I do think he's a minimum of Group 3 horse, probably Group 2 horse. To be honest, you know. So look, I'd go. He's not as price-wise, he's not to say of the century, but I think he's a good chance.
Yeah. I've bad news for you, though, Johnny. It's a listed race.
Is it okay? Yeah. but it is a group because like Israr is a group horse at the same time. It is a group race at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wasn't sure, but it was
It was a good joke, though, Johnny.
It is a group race in quality at the same time.
There we go. That is your Wolferton Stakes preview. And we've made it to the end. The 6:15 is the Copper Horse Handicap. And Bellocchio, well sported now, 130 favourite Bellocchio. Strong at the top of the market. Fox Journey is 9-2. It is 13-2 a Piece of Heaven. My Mate Mozzie is 15-2. And it is 9-1 Barkills. We have to kick off with you here because you're hoping to finish the meeting strong and you have a strong fancy here.
Yeah, Fox Journey is the only horse I've backed at a single-figure price today. I look at these horses we absolutely gagged up at Newmarket last time, and I look at these horses and I often think to myself, and I often oppose them by thinking, well, they've blown their handicap mark. You know, why did they have to win by so far? I tell you what, they always win. Whenever I oppose them, they always win. The more I looked at it, it just looked completely different class in that race. He has gone up like a long way in the weights. He was third to Middle Earth in that crack in Melrose last year at York, and he's just another late maturing improver for Sir Michael Stout. It was by Roaring Lion. I think he had 4 runners at Royal Ascot last year. 3 of them finished second. You know what I mean? They go well at this track. I just think he's going to be a massive player.
Excellent. Matt?
I'm the same. Thought he improved a lot last time. He was a bit steady last year, and then he just looks like he's taking a massive leap forward. So I want to stick with him. Ryan Moore's on board. Like his chances.
2 votes for Fox Journey at 9-2. Paddy Power, are you going to complete the clean sweep, Johnny?
No, I'd just go for another outsider. Well, it's normally a bigger price than normally. I'll chance
Bellocchio.
No. I actually think that the top end of the market is vulnerable here. Bellocchio, Fox Journey, Piece of Heaven, and My Mate Mozzie. I wouldn't be mad about any of them, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll go to Chance Party Central for an each way bet. I just think it'll be ridden that way. And it'll love the ground. It's a really ground.
She's a strong traveller, isn't she?
She's a really ground dependent mare at the same time. And Spencer again, you'd expect that to be held on to, and I could see there's definitely an upside to bracket it each way because I'd say it'll be placed, but whether it'll be good enough to win, that was another thing. But I think it has a chance to definitely fill in some sort of a.
You're on the Gordon Elliott bandwagon today, anyway.
Yeah,
Johnny.
like
Piper and Party Central.
Yeah, I do like backing Spencer. He wouldn't be my jockey of choice normally, but in a place like this, his riding style suits this track perfectly.
Okay, there we go. It's Party Central for Johnny Deneen. It's 2 votes for Fox Journey for the 2 boys, Matt Williams and Paul Keeley. And I'm very much with Intinso. We spoke about John and Tatey Goss, and I think they're going to have a big week. If he settles, and it's a big if, he hasn't been settling. If he settles, stronger run race here. I think Intinso is improving and is still well handicapped. So I'm with Intinso, who has been well backed and now is a 9-1 shot. So that is your preview of day 1 at Ascot. All that's left to do now is reveal our naps. And thank you very much to our good friends at Paddy Power, who are giving us €50 to go to charity if we can get a few winners up. Matt Williams, we'll kick off with you. Best bet on day 1 at Royal Ascot is?
I was going to go with Notable Speech, but I'm going to change my mind and go Andesite.
That's bad news now for our graphics makers here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads.
So we're switching it to Andesite in
throw a
the.
spanner in the works, haven't you, at some point?
You're switching it to Andesite in the Coventry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are strong on him.
I am now.
Yeah. Okay.
I like these feelings.
You made a very compelling case earlier. Paul Keeley.
Any feelings I have there are to do with food. Tritonic for me. Just I'll be devastated if he's out of the frame, but as long as he gets a clear race,
he will be in the frame.
He's going to be a player.
He can't win, but he can get in the frame.
Tritonic for Keels. Johnny?
Oh, I'm not deserting Notable Speech. He's the shortest price favourite of the day, so I'll go with him.
Yeah. He's cured, ladies and gentlemen. He is cured. Johnny Deneen is back. Notable speech. And I think these three hugely successful tipsters and punters who've made a living out of getting everything right are wrong, because I think Israr is the best horse in the race in the Wolferton, and I think he'll win at 130. So those are our charity bets for day one of Royal Ascot. And that's it, folks. What a beautiful setting. It's gorgeous here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Usually we're stuck in a studio and, you know, but now we're out in the open at Royal Ascot.
I'm cold.
What, are you cold? Are you? You're always complaining. We'll be back with you every day of Royal Ascot from now until Saturday, 8 o'clock every morning. We've got special guests throughout the week. Even Ruby Walsh might be making an appearance at some stage. But until then, my thanks to Matt Williams, to Paul Keeley, to Johnny Deneen. I've been David Jennings, and thank you for watching. Good morning, Royal Ascot.